Okay, we have an emergency reaction video. There was a podcast between Luis and Teresa from Real Housewives of New Jersey, where Luis is talking about his daughters wearing thongs in Greece on a vacation. I had so many people sending me clips on TikTok that I was like, okay, I watched the clips. It seemed ridiculous, and I ran to the computer to make this reaction video.
Nothing bad or anything like that. But I'm saying go to the club and dance, wear a thong, wear a short skirt, show your legs off a little bit.
And then I looked up the actual podcast episode where this segment has been clipped out, but there's a lot, you get the context for the conversation, which makes this reaction video very different. What people think happened, what people think was said, is very different than what happened and what was said. And it's not hard to figure that out, which is it's kind of my global thought about this is, I don't care what you think about Teresa or what you think about Luis or Melissa and Joe, it doesn't matter. The fact that you have the internet sort of clamoring to claim that some guy's a pedophile without being willing to actually watch the video is wild to me. And there are reputable sources, reputable YouTubers that I know the context, but they've chosen to just select a snippet and make him look bad. So the story is, first of all, that Luis is talking about what Teresa did. Teresa encouraged her daughters to enjoy their 20s, to be free when they're in Greece, and to wear thongs. Luis just shared the story. That's it. Luis wasn't the one who picked out thongs and said, hey, put this on. So now, I think there's arguments to be made about whether or not Teresa pushing her kids or allowing her kids to, sunbathe topless or wear thongs. I get that there's a segment of the population that would be that might disagree with that. I think there's an argument there. But the idea that you have a pervy stepfather who is leering at his younger daughters or stepdaughters, I think is unfair and ridiculous. I just do. And I'll say it this way. If you listen to the podcast, it's, in my opinion, almost unlistenable because the podcast is so focused on the two of them as a couple looking like they're in love and like they have the perfect family.
You're an icon. You really are. And oh my God, every time I talk about you, I feel like I'd cry.
I know, last night, my daughters, they're like, Mommy, Daddy's a good daddy, but we want to find a guy just like Louie.
You have two people in their 50s that couldn't be coiffed more, right? The amount of hair gel that Luis has got in his hair, the amount, he's beet red from all the sun tanning he does, perfectly shaven, he's got a designer t-shirt, the everything there is about looking and sounding good. Everything that Teresa said, he says in response, yeah, you're right. It just yes-ands how great she is. And he asks a question, how does she transition from how she was raised in a pretty conservative family with a pretty conservative father to how she takes care of her daughters or how she approaches parenting her daughters. And she was saying in their 20s, in my 20s, I wish I was more free. I wish I got scrutinized less by my father. So I give my daughters the freedom. And he said, yes, and when you were in Greece, yes, and when you took the daughters to France, you gave them the freedom. That's it. If I were coaching them, I would say, I wish you would transparently talk about your relationship. I wish you were less concerned with being viewed positively by everybody. I wish you could talk about what it's really like to have a mixed family and how you raise those children, because I am certain that there are challenges there. But it's not about that. It's not about a real conversation. There's no risks being taken. This is about managing how people view them. And so for Luis to say, yes, and you encourage your daughters to wear a thong had nothing to do with him. That's it. So I got all excited about a fiery reaction video, and my only fiery reaction is to the internet and our willingness there to look through a keyhole and say really shitty things about people. Let me know what you think in the comments below.